But the most important trial is undoubtedly the partner US trial, the pivotal randomized trial.
Edwards have to be congratulated on investing a huge amount of time, energy and money into a series of clinical trials, from first in man to then the follow-on trials, to then the source registry, then the introduction of the XT device and the systematic collection of data on that device, to the partner one trial.
The reason is that the surgeons will felt that these patients are way too sick for them to undergo a traditional open heart operation. So in this trial called partner trial, we're taking this very sick group of patients and see whether this is better than doing nothing.
In the United States right now, almost 100,000 operations a year are happening because of aortic stenosis.
And so I really think that all of the stakeholders that designed and conducted and analyzed and presented the study, including the sponsor, the principal investigators, the study sites, and the agency, really are to be complimented, because at least some of us have been in many meetings where a lot of discussion was devoted to things that we didn't talk about today. It really was a high quality study.
The big difference between Edwards and some other companies who started these kind of new technique was that Edwards, at the same time when they approached the cardiologists, also approached surgeons with this new technique and focused heavily on the heart team.
Every patient enrolled in this trial had to have a processed screening evaluation and had to have the case presented on a web call every week, sometimes twice a week, to an executive committee to review every aspect of the case. So the discipline associated with the case screening and the acceptance of patients was unparalleled in any trial that I've ever been in.
I think it's easy to say, I would argue, that we agree that there is a substantial mortality benefit, an equally substantial hemodynamic benefit, and if you move down the softness gradient, there is an impressive quality of life benefit, a somewhat less impressive or more nebulous perhaps exercise benefit in the 6-minute walks. So there are benefits.
So I think that we saw some really, really strong data, and I appreciate the sponsor actually collected it in the manner that they did. And I think I'll close by saying that we are concerned about strokes, and I think that absolutely we need to do some work in this area, but it's also really, really hard to have a stroke if you're dead. So I'll leave it at that.
The findings were very gratifying. For the patients who received the transcatheter aortic valve implantation, they demonstrated a very substantial and important benefit in both heart failure-related quality of life as well as their general quality of life. The aortic valve implantation procedure reduced the patient's effective age by 10 years, which is pretty dramatic.
It is a major medical paradigm shift. The only thing that rivals this in terms of its powerful impact on patients is heart transplantation in 1968. So we see this as a major step forward. There's still a lot to be learned, but we can offer patients something we never could before, and that's pretty exciting.
So because we know there are great benefits, but there are also some residual concerns, I think we would also all agree that dispersion has to be done thoughtfully, in some measured way, with adequate training in place at every step, and there has to be some kind of appropriate data monitoring.
I think Edwards are able to stand behind all of the data that they have accumulated in a very scientific way. And if one is honest, the competitors cannot do the same thing.
But I think one also should see it as an opportunity for the cardiac medical community to grow closer together, to really develop the team spirit which we sometimes lacked in the last 20 years, and to move from competition between surgeons and cardiologists into a direction where one joins forces and develops a new type of innovative strategies to improve patient outcomes.
And I think it's going to be good for cardiovascular medicine. I think it's going to change the way we practice. I think it's going to change the way we train young people and the way we take care of patients.
All of us have to get together to figure out how we can get these life-saving devices to American patients as quickly as possible.
I am glad to see that the procedure will start in the United States with the Edwards Sapien valve, and I really wish you good luck, and I am glad for you that you can start it. Bonne chance.